Pinoy baiting. It's such a thing now. When foreigners give us approval, masarap lang talaga siya, alam mo yun. So, sinasabi nila na parang, oh, yung Pinoy baiting masama yun and everything. I'm gonna come out and say na, alam mo, secretly we like it. When I come out and say, now it's fine, people do it. Like, this is how we do it, and we make a joke out of it. Na-alleviate yung parang hesitation to kind of appreciate it that way. Pinapakita ko rin na, alam mo yun, kinakampihan ko rin yung Pinoy culture, hindi ko lang kayo inaasar or whatever, di ba?
So, Red, medyo nalo ako sa wrestling background mo. But at the same time, I'm sort of not surprised kasi medyo katapat niya talagang comedy.
Ah,
So, your stand-up is Red Oliero. But then, you're also Redrick Mahaba.
Yeah.
But then, you're also Red Oliero in Philippine Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
So, is the Red Oliero Redrick Mahaba? Or are they three separate people?
There's like an aspect of myself trickled down on each things. Pero I think yung Redrick Mahaba yung pinaka-departure because I'm really playing a character that was in PWR before. Tapos in FPW now, which what we have now, I play like a parang villainous authority figure na I use my own name, si Red Oliero, si actual celebrity Red Oliero. So that's more of drawing from parang, oh, nagka-movie ako sa feeling ko big time na ako type of, parang new money type of guy. Parang ganun yung character ko. A lot of those are just really just characters na inisip ko na nakaka-inis or nakakatuwa. Parang ganun. But I don't think it's, sana hindi siya para, sana hindi siya malapit sa actual persona ko. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, like, I don't know if you'll agree, but wrestling is sort of like being a drag queen.
Yes.
There's the lore, may beef sila, the
May character,
theatricals of it all.
may ring name, may stage name. Diba?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think in drag, especially for the queer community, if you're trans or you're closeted,
Yeah.
like it becomes an extension of yourself talaga. So, do these personas that you have, like, in what ways does it give you this sort of like power or confidence that you might not have IRL?
Yes. Actually, when I do movies or do stand-up, sobrang painful sa akin to watch myself again. Like kanina, we had a photo shoot, di ba? Parang this is, ayoko silipin yung shots. Nahirapan ako to see myself. Parang wala akong confidence to like look at if I did well or parang ganun. Lalo na pag talagang if I'm portraying myself. Pero kung if it's as Redrick Mahaba or that character sa wrestling, sa FPW, walang problema eh. Parang it's just a fun way. So parang I guess mas confident ako when I'm playing those characters in the ring than my actual self.
Mhm.
Ewan ko. It's such a weird, different conundrum. So parang I guess that's where the power lies din. Siguro. Parang I'm always genuine when I do stand-up. So that's like my bread and butter. Always trying to express myself, dig deep, and ganyan. But parang kung gusto ko ng escape from it, it's wrestling.
That segs into my next question is
Okay.
whether wrestling is sort of your outlet outside of comedy, or is it part of the ecosystem that is like your creativity and what you do?
Parang lahat ng ginawa ko sa buhay ko, it's because I want to do wrestling. parang wala kasing wrestling sa Pinas. If there was wrestling from the start, parang feeling ko yun lang gagawin ko eh. But wala kang wrestling sa Pinas noong time when I was doing stand-up comedy. So, and then noong time na nagkaroon na, talagang I went headfirst na into it. So yeah, para talaga siyang, it's really an escape. Fulfilling your childhood dream, parang ganun. Parang sinasabi nila diba yung mga tao nangongolekta ng mga toys and everything. It's like satisfying your inner child or something like that. Parang ganun. I have a thing na I feel like we're all unique individuals to start out with. And then nung bata tayo, we had these ambitions na we feel like we don't value now. Pero I feel like those are ambitions na talagang mas malapit sa soul mo. I don't know if it's too deep or not, pero malapit siya sa kaluluwa mo because uninhibited pa siya or hindi pa siya nababahiran ng social norms, ng expectations, ng mga biglang narutunan mo na dapat mong gawin as an adult, di ba? Nung bata kayo, just wanted to be this person purely. Parang ganun. So, I feel like when I did it, parang may ibang klaseng fulfillment.
Ito naman, ano yung nabibigay ng comedy na hindi nakahanap sa ibang art form?
Comedy is really great. I think challenge. It's constantly challenging. That's why hindi siya nakakasawa. So I've been doing it since 2007. I was still a student when I was started doing it. And yung feeling ko going up sa mga bars or sa mga stages before, yung kaba, yung anxiety, same lang eh. Pag ngayon, if it's the same show, siguro mas marami lang tao, mas kilala ka lang. Pero it's the same anxiety, the same feeling, ano, same nerves. So parang it's always challenging you to come up with things na to entertain these people. So that's why I think I really love comedy.
May sinabi ka sa isang interview na yung hit joke mo is the peach mango pie, colonial mentality
Being
one.
researched.
Yeah. Yes,
Oo. Oo nga eh.
this is an interrogation.
Oo nga eh. Totoo.
And yung mga Pinoy kasi, sobrang love nila yung pagkain. And ang lala pa ng brand ng patriotism natin. So
Yeah.
if you put that together,
Yes.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I wanna ask, like, ano yung read mo sa joke na yan? Ba't siya pumatok? And what does that say about, like, Filipino culture?
I think kasi a lot of people, lalo na ngayon, like colonialism, 'di ba, sinasabi nila. It's such a thing now. Or Pinoy baiting, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So when foreigners give us approval, parang masarap lang talaga siya, alam mo 'yun. Eh ako when I'm doing comedy, when I look at if I look at an issue or pag pinag-usapan ng mga tao, hindi ako gumagawa ng comedy just because one, it's kakampihan ko yung popular opinion, or two, kakampihan ko yung tama. I go where it's funny or what I genuinely feel. So yung sinasabi nila na parang, oh, yung Pinoy baiting masama yun and everything, I'm gonna come out and say na, alam mo, secretly we like it. Alam mo yun? There's nothing like nag-huddle kayo ng friends nyo. Ano to nangyari nung pandemic yun and wala kami mapanood. Tapos pinanood lang namin tong guy na pinaparod namin kumakain. Tapos finally kumain siya ng Jollibee. So talagang nung nag-approve siya, feel namin, di ba? Yung Pinoy pride. Siyempre exaggerated na yun. Hindi kami nagpanatang makabayan in real life. Pero ang take ko doon is, I think people really like that because they can relate. That's one. And it also kind of like alleviates na parang medyo guarded sila when they feel like, okay, nakatuwa akong panoorin to. Kaso, ano to Pinoy baiting to, colonial mentality to, ayokong i-approve. Pero when I come out and say, now it's fine, people do it, like this is how we do it, and we make a joke out of it. So na-alleviate yung parang hesitation nila to kind of appreciate it that way. I don't know why we value yung ating colonial overlords approval. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. But we just do it. Just happens. So, all the more with something we're really proud of, diba, our food. That's why I did that joke then because I feel like may konting positivity naman that comes from it. And also, parang, yun yung joke ko na parang pinapakita ko rin na, ano mo yun, kinakampihan ko rin yung Pinoy culture, hindi ko lang kayo inaasar or whatever, di ba?
Sinabi mo rin dati na yung mga tumatawa sa jokes mo ay yung mga tao na katulad mo. Ano ba ang mga tao na katulad mo?
Well, hopefully not too much. Pero sa humor-wise, I think we just like, ang mentality ko sa comedy, what's funny is funny. And I took that from Conan O'Brien. Walang, yung mga ibang tao parang, oh, highfalutin kasi yung comedy ko. High comedy ako, hindi ako maintindihan ng ganyan. Ayoko ng ganun. I don't like being snobbish. But I don't like being not genuine din. Because a lot of people are also saying na, Red, gusto mo mapatok pa, babaan mo yung comedy mo. And that's being ingenuine naman. That's kind of like being manipulative to the people na, oh, bigay, mag-joke about things na nakaka-rate siguro sa madla, pero it's not me. Gusto ko lang pakita na being genuine and being yourself is good. And I think a lot of people appreciate what I put out because wala siyang other intention than to, make people laugh.
Meron ka isang joke sa Netflix special mo that really struck me.
Oh.
Siguro kasi sobrang specific siya sa certain experience.
Yeah.
At nung napanood ko, I was like, I wasn't sure if like everyone would get this because it's so specific. And that's the Subdivision Girl.
Yeah.
And how may preference ka sa Sanlo and
Yeah.
Manila Polo Club, etc.
Uh-huh.
Tinawag mo yata sa isang show mo, Aircon Humor.
Yeah.
And as a comedian, like, how have you dealt with that discourse in the local comedy scene?
Well, ang maganda sa stand-up comedy, for me, if stand-up comedy is really done well, you are super unapologetically yourself to the point na it's actually ina-amplify mo pa kung ano ka talaga. So in stand-up, in local stand-up lalo, it's actually a disservice to kind of like pretend you're someone else. So that in itself, like intensely admitting to people na parang, type ko lang yung mga taga-subdivision. It's a joke that introduces yourself. So sa local stand-up, after me, there's a lot of people na parang, oh, sige, ako, konyo ako, ganyan. May mga guys na talagang, they talk about na their actual lives. Alam mo yun? Sometimes a little bit too much. Nag-aamin na sila ng mga kinks, parang, wow, easy lang. Di ba? Parang ganun. Parang, I think for local comedy, kailangan yung ganong klaseng performances because I wanna tell them na hindi yung nakakatawa is what you think na iniisip ng taong nakakatawa. Sometimes, you have to reach deep sa buhay mo and then find the funny in there, perform it. Kapag hindi gumana, rewrite it, do it again until tanggapin ka ng audience and now it's valid. Alam mo yun? So, it's a good development phase for comedy. Parang ganun.
So you were talking about it from like a local comedy scene where the good practice or best practice is to be yourself
Yes.
and don't pretend.
Yes.
But for the people watching, they might interpret it differently because they come from a different place. So
Yeah.
like how have you dealt with that with the example of this joke?
So, yun yung tinatry namin i-champion na mentality now is that if you don't find me funny, that's fine. Stand-up comedy doesn't mean you are generally funny to everyone. May performances, arche, so subjective. May performances na mas ma-appreciate ng people this way, mas ma-appreciate ng people that way. That's great. So, when I had the Netflix put out there, dami kong negative reviews, honestly. Like, binuksan ko yung Letterboxd account, mga kasi makita mo yung mga, lackluster, pilit, trying hard, all those like keywords and buzzwords. Because they're under the mentality na akala nila, when you put out something there, dapat para sa lahat siya. It's not. Kasi it's just one individual. It's one, I'm representing siguro geeky, private school, educated, dekoche, medyo mahilig sa konyo type of person. Tapos, baka hindi sila makarelate. What I say to them is that now, we have a stand-up comedy scene. And there's so many comedians. You go into a stand-up bar, sometimes we have like a showcase show. There's like 8 comedians. I'm pretty sure makakarelate ka sa kahit isa. So that's where you find your stand-up comedy. And that's how I founded my stand-up comedy dun eh. Parang you get through a lot of like gateway comedians. Like kunwari sila Russell Peters, Pablo Francisco, Rex Navarrete, mga ganun. So, and then mamaya you start to discover, oh, meron palang Dave Chappelle, meron palang Louis C.K., meron palang Bill Burr, meron palang Shane Gillis or Andrew Schultz or something. And then you find like the specific types that you want. And that's how I consume my comedy din. Like, I watch like 4 guys. Ganun. And then yung mga iba na parang nagtatanong sila, hindi ka nanonood ng John Mulaney. Hindi ko trip si John Mulaney. Parang ganun. But that doesn't mean he sucks. Di ba? Parang ganun. So, I think yun yung gusto kong paratingin din na mentality sa mga tao. Is that you might not find each of us funny and then you might hear from someone that this comedian is the greatest ever and you might disagree. You are both could be wrong and right. But you can find someone, if you go out there and give it a shot, you'll find someone. And that will support the scene and that will just improve it all the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've said also how comedy is banked on insecurities and often comes from a negative place, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Kasi dun tayo nakakahugot ng mas malalim. So I want to know, like, in the context of hear it and jokes and coming from this sort of place that's very personal, what is the fine line between a joke and a microaggression?
Oh, okay. That's great. Parang sometimes it can be both. I feel like, diba, like a Kendrick Lamar diss track that made it to the halftime of Super Bowl, diba?
Yeah.
So that could be one. I would say kasi comedy is really hard to do. So lahat ng stimuli mo, you can turn it into a bit. So I think a joke is a joke if it serves the purpose of making people laugh. Yun talaga yun. Pag ang purpose mo is gusto mong parinig, primarily, as nakakatawa din siya, edi microaggression yun na naging joke. Ganun. Pero kung joke siya, inspired by away nyo ng tao, tapos ginawa mo siyang set, and people are brilliant, they paid tickets to watch your show, they laughed their asses off, sakit ng tiyan nila after, and that's a joke. Yun na yun. So, it can come from any kind of stimuli or inspiration, but if it serves the purpose of making people laugh, that's a joke.
Pero in the beginning of that spiel you just gave,
Mhm.
it's almost, you said that like a microaggression and a joke is almost the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost the same thing.
so how do we differentiate it? Is it the context? Like,
Yeah.
because what will be a joke for someone will be a microaggression for someone
Yes.
else. So, like, are you able to give like a differentiation between them?
Oh man. I think kasi di ka naman lalabas sa performance mo and say, okay guys, ang intention ko is magpatawa. Di ba? Parang ganun. Di ba? Ang
Oo.
hirap. Pero I think it's within you na eh. Parang doon na siya eh. It's what I also say din sa mga people that does a lot of dark humor. Kasi yung mga ibang tao, parang gusto lang nila nang offend lang sila. Yung mga ibang comedians. Parang they like it when people are offended or when people cringe. Parang ganun na dire. Gusto nila yun. And they call it dark humor. Tapos ako parang, how do I differentiate this person kung gusto niya lang yung offend or gusto niya magpatawa? Parang ganun. So I watch these comedians and sometimes when they do a bad set, pag walang tumatawa sa joke nila, titignan ko kung nilalaban ba nila yung joke or nag-move on na sila to like other jokes. Pag nilalaban nila yung joke nila, ibig sabihin, okay, comedian to.
Right.
Hindi lang siya na-offend, parang ganun. And I think ganun din with like a lot of the things, microaggression, mga parinig and everything. If you make a bit out of something na experience mo with another comedian or a fellow or dati mong colleague, tapos gusto mo siyang paringgan, and then ginawa mo siya, and then people are not laughing, will you still continue to do it just to serve the purpose of parinig? Or, lakas ng tawa na itong mga to eh, gawin natin to ulit parate, di ba? Parang ganun. I think then it's also very hard to ignore then the reality of the things that's happening to you. So kunwari, if you're beefing with someone, like kunwari, comedian A is beefing with comedian B, and everybody in the scene knows, tapos gumawa ka ng set na hindi mo ina-address yun. Parang weird, di ba? Parang hindi siya genuine. Parang yung alam namin kung ano yung nakaka-affect sa ulo mo, right then and there. But di mo siya sinasabi. Parang di mo siya ina-address. Parang ganun. So, I think in-expect din ng crowd to have some little remarks or jokes about it. Eh mga comedians, Diyos ko, kaka-break lang. Ang unang pupuntahan, open mic, tapos may 7 minutes of breakup material kagad sila. Kulang na lang, umiyak sila. I've seen comedians like fail on stage because meron silang trauma na gusto nilang i-dump. And then, I would tell them, gets ko, na mag-dump ka ng trauma or iniwan ka ng asawa mo or something. Pero, that's too long. It doesn't serve comedy anymore. Alam mo yun? So, kailangan mo rin i-balance yung way na yun. Mga sinasabi ko sa ibang interviews, coming back at me.
Yeah, you've also said comedy is a double-edged sword.
Yes,
Yun
it
yung
is,
sabi
it is.
mo.
Yeah.
And as a coping mechanism, you've said that it shouldn't be romanticized and that you should seek help, whether it's in the pressure of the profession or with yourself.
Yes.
I can imagine as someone who's young in the scene, it's so easy to underestimate this. So, like, how
Super.
did you come to this realization?
That's
in yourself?
me. Like,
Right.
may mga times minsan na you live in your head too much and you do a lot of it, lalo na if you're up and coming. You churn a lot of material. You try to really drive a lot of things and live in your head for a long time. Like, kahit anong ginagawa mo, you're always out looking jokes. Parang nag-develop ka na ng sixth sense because you're doing jokes and everything. Hindi mo na mapatay. Alam mo yun? So, and those things, hindi naman siya nakatutok eh. When you're brainstorming, hindi naman siya tipong, oh, think about only jolly, fun stuff. It also goes to a lot of bad stuff, especially when you go through something or nagka-trauma ka and everything. And ako naman, I didn't have like a rough childhood. My parents were super supportive. Alam mo yun, everybody in my family is super supportive. So, hindi ko in-expect na I would have, a lot of like mental health problems and everything. So, may times na gano'n na parang you go into a dark place and then you feel like everyone's out to get you. And you start to get depressed. And you start to feel like na parang ito na pala yung reality ng mundo. And you start to convince yourself na, kasi di ba, iniisip mo eh. And then, pag tinatry mo i-convince yourself otherwise of that bad thing, mas magaling yung dark side ng utak mo mag-dede, kaya ka ginaganyan kasi ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. So, minsan layers on layers and layers on that. Mga ganun. So, seek help. I think sometimes hindi siya healthy na kunwari, pero meron akong 20 minutes out of this joke. Yeah, go do the joke. But also like, seek help. Ako naman, hindi naman intense. Like, I've been seeing my psychologist na for maybe 5 years lang. Parang ganun. And sometimes we don't talk about anything. We just catch up. Parang ganun. Actually, kanina. I came from my psychologist kanina lang. Tapos, just talk, get it out of the way. And then sometimes pag may naramdaman ka, she'll explain it. And then, dahil credible siyang tao, you'll listen to her. Yun lang talaga. That's just it. Instead of just, pare, ito yung iniisip ko.
Yeah,
Inom
right.
tayo. Di, kasi ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Tapos bilang, ang layo na sabihin niya, di ba? Lalo na mga comedians, we always like to not take things seriously. So, this stereotype is very real. Yung talagang mga comedians are like the depressed, tortured souls of the society. Totoo siya eh. Because we dwell in those thoughts or amplify those thoughts sa utak namin because we want to serve the craft or parang we want to make jokes out of it. So, sometimes minsan, hindi ka maalis dun eh. So, that's where the trouble happens. Yeah.
Your lore as a wrestler and a comedian, parang I think those things, like, it's almost like a method acting in a way.
Oh, wow.
Kasi, well, it's like how there are some wrestlers that off stage, they carry it with them.
Yeah, grabe.
And obviously comedians, they're coming from a really deep place. Like, do you resonate like with method acting, or do you feel like you are pretty good at separating it now?
Oh man, you have to be good at separate. I think mas impressive to separate it. Di ako, sorry pero like I've dealt with people na medyo method. Pero mas impressive sa akin yung hindi. I think sino ba to? Some actor, may anecdote dito na parang may isang up-and-coming actor daw na he was really serious with his role. Hindi siya natulog ng matagal, started the habit of smoking just to be in character. So parang pinabrag niya na yun yung ginawa niya to prepare for the role. Tapos sinabi ng isang mas veteran na actor sa kanya, or you could try acting.
Yeah. I've heard this one.
But I forgot who it was. But that resonated with me na parang, okay, if you're acting, act talaga. And ako naman, hindi naman ako magaling na actor or anything. Pero I've dealt with people naman na hindi naman nila bit-bit yung characters nila off stage and they're good. They're really good. Parang, I was in this acting workshop with Chai Fonasher. Really great actress. Tapos parang yung workshop yung talagang, isipin niyo yung mga problema niyo, sigawan mo yung kalaban mo sa harapan mo, mga ganong klaseng type. So parang awkward na ako, hindi ko na kaya. Kasi ayoko talaga gawin yun. Like, unless na siguro ginawa ko siya in a comedic form, like ginawa ko siyang bit, now I can express it. Pero ngayon, like, raw, sisigawan ko lang yung kahaway ko sa harapan ko, ganyang klase. Hindi ko kayang gawin. So parang I feel like parang medyo hindi ko trip yung workshop. Tapos si Chai went up to me, that's not the only way to act. There's a way that you can separate it, ganyan. So parang, I feel validated.
Right.
So, yun. I think separation is way more better than iuwi mo sa bahay mo.
I know you act also.
Yeah.
Ano yung atake mo dyan versus like everything else you do?
Oh my God. Wala. One, before I take the role, I make sure na they know that I'm not an actor. So, malaking bagay. Na, guys, di ako nag-act, hindi ako magaling. Dede, gawin mo lang yung, pag sinabi nilang, binigyan ka nila ng, basta be natural, or gawin mo lang ito yung character mo bagay sa'yo, okay na ako. So, I'm good with that. I haven't done anything sobrang intense. So, I would say I dabble in it. I enjoy it. Ang atake ko lang is really just, the days are long. So, wag ka uminit ulo mo. I think yun yung, I try my best to do it.
Guys, your show, medyo serious talk show.
Oh my.
You touch on, for the lack of a better word, serious topics.
Mhm.
Comedians aren't ones to shy on serious topics, but like, what does that show serve you versus like yung mga ibang ganap mo, whether that's Bago Matulog or your stand-up?
Well, dati, racket lang tingin ko sa kanya. Like, I thought, like, this is really good. Like, I'd show up, we'd do record 2 episodes, I get paid per episode. I'm out like in 3 hours. Great. Lapit lang sa bahay ko nung studio. Walang problema. No-brainer for me to accept it. And then I kind of sort of realized, I think, fellow comedian said, si James Carahan, sabi niya, ayaw mo kasing tratuhin na parang totoong project yan eh. Gawin mo na kasing, tratuhin mo na parang sa'yo talaga siya. Parang gano'n. Kasi nababurnout ako. Parang gano'n. So, yeah, now it feels like it serves parang a way for me to kind of like educate myself din about like issues na hindi na pag-uusapan. Issues I care about na sometimes I know nothing about. And it gets shed a light na parang, okay, may ginagawa naman pala. Parang gano'n. Or parang it makes me feel better din after. So, one of the things naman din is to kind of like make issues palatable. So, when I do jokes, sometimes I would do like I want to tell people my stance against EJK, my stance against Philippine colonialism or cancel culture or something like that. I make a bit out of it and then we do the joke, diba? Kaso, a joke takes sobrang, it's hard to make. Like, sometimes it will take me years to write it. So, minsan may mga issues na talagang feeling ko, maybe we just need to talk about it. Like, when I talk to Chel Jokno about prison systems natin, like, are the people in the prison, are they all of them guilty criminals? No, they're not. Are they serving time na talagang deserve nila? Maybe. But also, yung conditions of it all, sobrang congested nung ano because sobrang daming nakapila for trial and they're just there waiting 3 years to be tried. 'Di ba? May mga ganong klaseng issues na I don't think una-una maybe can make a funny joke out of it. Pero kumaga parang yung show ko is I want it to be light. Like I'm out there, I'm wearing a necktie over a t-shirt. Para hindi sila, kasi ako rin, pag masyadong serious yung issue, parang ayokong basahin to, dark to masyado, I'm dealing with many problems all this. So I want to entertain them and then learn about it after, diba? So yun yung purpose ng Medyo Serious Talk Show.
Right.
Yeah.
Medyo nga eh.
Medyo serious lang. Medyo serious lang, diba?
Okay. To be able to talk about those topics, is that important to you? Like, and to be able to do so in your own terms. Like, I guess I'm thinking about the future of your comedy, like being able to balance like these serious issues and like the reality of comedy. And yung pagkaseryoso ng buhay. How are you balancing that?
Wala.
Not.
Not at all. Sometimes, minsan, parang I'm just pissed off because parang may mababasa ka lang na issue online or something happened or kahit ano. Oh, tingnan mo kung paano nila binabashi ganyan, binabashi ganun. Alam mo yun, may mga ganun eh. It's hard to put it off na kaya nga parang I think ang naging result na lang ng ginawa ko is just have many outlets for it. So I have the podcast, I have the show, I have stand-up. So like 90% of what I do in stand-up doesn't make it online so if you watch me exclusively online lang or sa Netflix lang, that's like siguro like 20% of my material lang siguro. There's a lot of things na I say on stage, I don't say online because it's gonna cause trouble eh. Parang ganun. So, wala talaga, hindi ko siya sineseparate, I guess. I think it motivates pa nga eh, I think.
Right. Ito pa, last thing na sinabi mo dati. Na yung dream mo is to have a Netflix series, which you got,
Yes.
which is really cool. Is there anything that you would have done differently about that?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ang dami. Like, first viewing, I've only watched it once. Kala ko dati parang, I'm gonna admire myself. Every day, I'm gonna watch it. Mga ganong klase. I hate it. Honestly. Pagkakita ko simula, parang, why did we do this long intro? We should have just done the jokes kagad. And then maya, why did I start out with this joke? I don't like this joke. And then, another time then parang, we overproduce the sound. The sound doesn't feel like a live show. Alam mo yan, ang dami kong ganun. And this was just the only time that I watched it. Parang ganun. Hanggang sa dulo, until yung parang, but why did we do the follow to the camera and the backstage and everything? Parang ganung klase. Sana naging iba na lang or something, or maybe just cut to black at some point. Pero I think sino ba nagsabi sa akin ito? May sinasabi sa akin ito na talagang wala, ganun ang reality ng things. Like a lot of filmmakers say din na yeah, yun yung hassle kasi when you put out stuff, that's it. Hindi mo na pwedeng edit yan or everything, di ba? Kasi pag stand-up kasi, like if I do something live, you won't see it. Nobody will see it. And then I can edit it. Pangit tong punchline na to. Sige, ayusin ko siya for the next show. So I've always had that luxury na, improve it. And then after the Netflix special, parang nung shoot na namin siya, and it was in post, nung ini-edit na siya, I had like a bunch of shows. Tapos na-improve ko halos lahat ng jokes na yun. Tapos ako parang, I recorded and published in the biggest stand-up platform jokes that are now lesser of what I perform now. So parang oh my God. Grabe, ang hirap. Si Rico Blanco pala yan, sabi. Hindi niya sinabi sa akin directly, sinok ko lang siya. Pero I think sinabi niya na parang nag-post siya ng recording ng isang song niya, live. And then may comments na, ang layo na nito sa ni-record, ang layo na nito sa ganyan, di ba? But binababoy mo yung sarili mong kanta, parang ganun yung sinasabi ng mga tao. Tapos sinabi niya, what we post out there is just like a still or like a capturing of the artist at that moment lang. So, this piece evolves. Kasi, ang alam mong recording nito was yung 1994 recording nito. But it has evolved. Like, it's been decades since that. So, nag-iiba na yung tingin ko sa kanya na song, di ba? Kung paano siya performing and everything. So, ako parang, okay, medyo na-alleviate yung stress ko dun. Pero ang feeling ko talaga after the Netflix one was crazy. Like, I got depressed actually. Kasi parang, there's this comedy sketch si Seth MacFarlane na si Wile E. Coyote, nahuli na niya si Roadrunner. Tapos parang wala na siyang gagawin after. So yun yung feeling ko after. Parang, oh my God, anong gagawin ko ngayon? What do I do?
The artists just go through that after a big
Oh,
project.
thank God. Hindi lang ako.
Not alone, bro.
Thank God. We're all bad people. Di ba? Parang, man, what do I do now? Ganyan. I think started to talk to people na this Malaysian comic na may dalawang Netflix specials. Like, parang, how'd you get, what was your mentality going from the first one to second? Because I want a second one. Because I want to improve it kaagad. Sabi ko, yo, bro, don't think of it as a parang improvement from 1 to 2. Think of 1 as a launch point of whatever you want to do now. Diba? Don't think na parang redemption mo yung 2 for 1. Parang ganong klase. Because that's gonna be a terrible piece then if you do it. And you're gonna work yourself dry then if you don't sell it. Diba? So sinabi niya parang, it's just a launch point of more things now. More people have seen your stuff. So maybe go to places na you haven't done stand-up in. So that's what we did. We went to Singapore, Sydney, Melbourne. Saya to find out people na parang, oh, naparad ko yung ganyan mo or parang ano. And then I get to perform Tagalog overseas. Yun yung masaya din. Yeah.
So what's the next dream? Another Netflix special or a different aspiration?
Yumaman.
Yes.
Hindi, pero totoo yun talaga. Gusto mo, actual dream is just really get rich and buy a farm and it's like, have like 90 dogs. Parang ganun. Like, kausap ko si Kuya Kim nung sa araw, parang siya 51 dogs. I'm like, wow, why do you still work? Why are you here?
Hang out with your dogs.
Okay na yan. Stay home. Yun yung gusto kong gawin, man. It's like, just to have a bunch of dogs in a farm. And then, every now and then, I do stand-up. And maybe do wrestling. But yeah, the dream is talagang maybe get wrestling to a point where it's actually an industry na, not like someone's passion. You know, maybe get our guys paid properly, na maayos. For stand-up, pwede siguro Netflix. Pero I'm working on something now na I want to feature the scene. So it's a stand-up comedy series featuring shorter sets but like more comedians. Because I want to tell the Filipinos na hindi lang siya konting tao. It's actually a whole scene. And if you don't like Red, maybe you like this other guy or this other girl, diba? So it's always nice to showcase these talents and So I think that's the dream. Maybe elevate both stand-up and wrestling and then buy a farm and have lots of dogs. Yun yung actually, kahit yung dogs na lang. Bahala sila dun sa, doon na lang ako sa dog actually. Yun din naisip ko parang ako pa ba gagawa nun? Diba? Doon na lang ako sa aso. Yeah.
Thank you, Red.
Thank you so much.
Such a good conversation.
Oh
Thank you
yeah,
for sharing
totoo.
space.
Not every day that you get your words thrown back at you.
Oh, diba?
And you had to work. Oh nga eh. Nagulat ako eh. Like parang, oh my God, people watch the interviews. Oh my God.